It worked. Where is everybody? It worked because it worked on my laptop. Did everybody bail on me? The reason I do it this way is because I'm lazy. I'll admit it. I'm lazy. If I have to take every stream, if I do it in one big long stream, and then afterwards have to cut them up and put them in playlists, do you know how much work that is? I'm lazy, y'all. I'm lazy. Hi, my name is Debbie. Welcome to my channel. If you have not been with me all day, jumping back and forth between states all over the country, we are back for the afternoon session of the Jose Soto-Escalera penalty phase. We are on day 1 of the penalty phase, the afternoon session, because the lawyers don't have their crap together. We ended the morning session at like 10:30. Yeah, something like that. 10:30. Because they didn't have witnesses. And the witnesses were supposed to be ready at 1, but they're not back yet. So, I guess we're going to sit here and wait for them to get back. I hate this. I hate this. Because I don't know what to say. I used to have stories. I have no stories. I've told you guys all my stories. And sometimes funny things happen. Like Spike the fainting goat. Hey, buddy. What you doing? It's 1 here. It is beyond me how we ended up doing. It is beyond me how we ended up doing 2 trials in a row with a deceased baby. I do not know how that happened. I don't like to do the child abuse trials because they're evil people. But this is just as bad. I don't know why I'm doing them. I mean, like, with this one, I mean, it's not any worse, but because when you're 8.5 months pregnant, the baby has a heartbeat, has feelings, can feel pain, can recognize its mother's voice. So what is the difference between 8.5 months pregnant and a 2-day-old? A few weeks? It's not really any different. I was born at 7 months. I have a story. I was born at 7 months. I was so small. My mom said I wore Barbie doll socks. And I said, no way, Mom. You mean baby doll socks? And she said, no, Barbie doll socks. I still don't believe her. I don't think I wore Barbie doll socks. Because Barbie doll feet are teeny tiny. But she swears it was Barbie doll socks. But, she said I was so little, like I couldn't even drink a nippleful of milk at a time. And back then, in the late 60s, like, you didn't get to keep your baby in the room with you like you do now. So, um, they wouldn't let mom feed me. They would take me away when it was time to feed me and feed me in the other room. And so finally one day mom says, I want to watch you feed her. And um, she said that the nurse, mom said that the nurse actually took me into the nursery, sat at the window, but then turned her back, turned the rocking chair around so her back would be facing mom. So she still couldn't see if she was actually feeding me or not. And so mom signed herself out of the hospital and took me home, and just me and her in a room together. Wouldn't let, if my brothers came in to see me, she made them wear like booties and masks and a hat and everything. And I didn't cry until I was 3 months old, she said. You know, when she lost weight, she had breast augmentation because she lost so much weight in her chest, and she said that was her trademark. So she had to get them back. They're a pain in the butt. So, anyway, the joke in my family was always she didn't cry till she was 3 months old, and once she started making noise, we could never shut her up. Apparently, what happened, of course, I don't remember, I was 3 months old, but the story that I've been told was mom was feeding me cereal, which now, you know, they say not to feed babies cereal too young, but mom would, and I know this because she taught me to do it when my brother had kids, because I was still little when my brother had kids. So I learned baby stuff from my mom helping my brother with his kids. Because she died when I was 21, so even if I'd had kids, I wouldn't have had a mom around to help me. But anyway, so she would take a bottle and put formula and the Gerber baby cereal stuff in it, and then take scissors and like cut an X in the nipple to make it bigger so the cereal would come out, and then feed cereal that way with the bottle. And so apparently that's what she was feeding me when I was 3 months old, and I got choked on it. And my dad took me by the ankles upside down and whacked me on the back to get me to cough up the cereal, and that was the first time that I cried. Supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, now they say not to do that. But they keep going back and forth. They're like, well, some doctors say they should only be on breast milk or formula, whichever, their first year. And then other doctors say you can, you know, start introducing foods at certain ages. Like, it keeps changing. Just like how you should lay your kid in the crib keeps changing. It's like, make up your mind. got a yarn barf, y'all. This is what you get when you get to the end of the nice, pretty little yarn skein that you buy in the store. This is what the end of it looks like on the inside. And then you have to fight with it because it's a big knot. Yes, being born is 100% fatal. And everybody is dying. You know, everybody makes a big deal when someone says, oh, I have a fatal illness. But everybody has a fatal illness. It's called being born. We're all dying. Every last one of us is dying. Okay, they've changed from lunch break to coming up defense witnesses. I don't know if that means that something's going on in the courtroom or not, but they're not showing it. It's still a picture of Tanya. How old? Marty, you said you didn't think that her son would be that old. I did pull from the inside. But when you get to the very end, this is what you get. Even when you're pulling from the inside, you get a knot. How old was he? She died 8 years ago. I thought he was 6 when she died. That would make him 14. That can't be right. Sometimes you have to pull from the outside, though, because you can't find the inside. I saw a video where someone took a brand new thing of yarn and they couldn't find the inside to pull. I mean, I've already done this one and I found it, but they said if you bang on the top like this, then you can find the center real easy. And I haven't tried to see if it works because all of the ones I've bought since I saw the video, I've been able to find the center. But my cousin sent me the video and she goes, I don't know if it works or not because I don't have any brand new yarn things to try it with. And every new one I've bought since then, I've been able to find the center no problem. So I hate when if I'm making like a stuffed animal or something, I don't mind it so much, but when I'm making a blanket, I don't like to cut the yarn unless I absolutely have to, because I'm afraid there's going to be like a weak spot in the blanket. And that you don't want to, like, you know, be chilling with a blanket and then all of a sudden have a hole in your blanket, you know? You know, pull it too hard and be like, oh crap, I just tore a hole in my blanket because there was a weak spot there. This blanket's for me anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
The jury is entering.
Oh, he was 8. Okay. So 8 plus 8 plus 8. So he's 16. Okay.
All right, jury is present. We proceed with the defense mitigation evidence, and the defense may call its first witness.
Thank you, Judge. The defense calls Raul Banasco.
Mr. Banasco, if you raise your right hand, I'll administer the oath to you. Do you swear for or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, and you may inquire, Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Judge. Can you hear me, Raul?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay, tell us who you are, please.
My name is Raul S. Banasco. I am a prison and jail expert who has been consulted to interview and give my professional opinion based on my experience in corrections and my education and training on this case.
You're on Zoom. Are you not in Florida?
No, I am actually in Austin, Texas today.
Are you working in Texas now?
I'm actually off for the afternoon, but yes, I do have a full-time employment, but I'm off for the rest of the day, sir.
Tell the jury about your education, please.
I have an undergraduate degree from Iona University in New York, with a focus on psychology, minor in criminal justice. I have a master's in public administration from Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida. I also have my certification as a public manager through the Florida Atlantic University Master's Program, and currently hold my certification as a jail manager through the American Jail Professional Commission. As well, I'm a certified corrections executive through the American Correctional Institution Organization on Professional Standards.
Are you working in jail or prison administration now in Austin, Texas?
Yes, I am.
How long have you worked in that field?
I've been in this field going on my 39th year. Started my social services, public safety career in New York, did 2 years with the juvenile system, and in 1988 joined the Florida Department of Corrections as a corrections officer at the prison now known as Central Florida Reception Center in Orlando, Florida. During my approximately 20 years with the Florida Department of Corrections, worked my professional development through classification. I served as a supervisor as well as a probation supervisor, an assistant warden at 3 major institutions, warden at a major Hernando correctional institution, also served in the capacity as the director of training for the entire Department of Corrections for 2 years, and then transitioned into jail operations. I served as the major for the Orange County Jail in Orlando, the deputy chief and interim chief for Osceola County Corrections, and then retired from the Florida system, did some nonprofit work for 2 years, and then have ran jails in different states from San Antonio, Fort Worth, St. Louis, as well as now Austin, Texas.
So you have worked in corrections here in Florida.
20 years, yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Florida DOC policies and procedures?
Yes, I am, sir.
You're not here out of the goodness of your heart, are you? We're paying you for this work, correct?
Yes, sir.
How much do you charge per hour, sir?
My fees are $200 an hour to interview, review records pertaining to any case, as well as $225 an hour for testifying, and $110 for any travel time involved on any case.
How many hours have you put in on the Soto-Escalera case?
16 and a half hours.
Is this your first time testifying in court, sir?
No, no, sir.
Where have you testified before?
I have testified in a variety of states, particularly in Florida. I have testified on various cases from Dade County, Duval County, Lake County, Marion County, Volusia County, Lee County, Gadsden County, also in the Panhandle, some of the Washington County, a variety of counties throughout the state of Florida, as well as done work in South Carolina, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee.
Do you testify always for the defense? Has any state attorney's office, whether this one or anywhere else, ever used you as a consultant or consulted you on a case?
Not as a consultant, no, sir.
I'd like to talk to you, sir, for a moment or two about what life without parole would mean for an inmate so sentenced. Are you qualified to answer questions in that regard?
Yes, I am.
A person sentenced to Florida Department of Corrections to life without the possibility of parole, where are they housed? How are they housed in the system?
The way the process goes in the Florida prison system, like many, they are sentenced to a reception center in which they will go through 6 to 12 weeks going through battery and process for mental health, medical, classification, custody review, and they're sent to a permanent facility. An individual who's sentenced to life will always be close custody. They will be sent to a facility that has that security level. Their requirement, once they are transferred to that permanent facility, they will go through an assessment process through classification, known as the institutional classification team process, in which they will be assigned a job. Every inmate who's serving life at a facility designed, they are required to work 60 hours a week. They are required to show up to work in addition to other obligations. They will be housed in a custody level, as we know, as H4 or HO5, which means their housing facility assignment will be either with another inmate or several inmates, and after dark, they are secured behind 2 or 3 additional secure doors to ensure that that custody level doesn't have access to the compound as a whole. In addition to working 60 hours a week, they're required to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're required to march down to the chow hall, eat their meal within 7 to 10 minutes, return back to their assignment. They go through rigorous requirements. They get counted several times a day. They're told where to go, when to go. They have appointments to be at, and they're required to follow all the rules and regulations that the prison requires of them in that environment.
Is a prisoner serving life without parole, does such a prisoner shower every day?
Shower every day. They are given the option to shower in the evenings when the showers are open, but that is a communal shower environment in which they share in normal dormitories the ratio of maybe 15 showers for 250 inmates. There is a period of time in which the showers are open, and they have to take advantage of it. If they're not in that environment at that time or overslept, they just are not showered. They're also required to go to call-outs and have other obligations in which, when it comes to using the environment, TV, they share one communal TV per pod or per unit, in which they all have to decide what channel. So there's nothing individually catered to that individual inmate serving life. They have to share it with anywhere 70 to 150 inmates in that environment.
You indicated, I think, that a typical inmate serving life without possibility of parole is required to do work?
Yes. Every inmate, whether you have an impairment, you can be a wheelchair, medically declining individual, everyone is required to have a job assignment. It can be assigned as a houseman, and in this case, most of those who are healthy, they will be given an inside grounds job, which basically means they're given manual lawnmowers, they cut grass. We're talking big acre properties within the fence line. They also prepare meals. They keep up with the day-to-day maintenance concerns. If you have any skills in maintenance, painting, repairing sidewalks, landscaping, keeping the upkeep of the prisons, of these aging prisons, they're required to work 60 hours a week at their job assignment.
And a lot of their work is done to maintain the the prison that holds them.
Correct. Basically, in the business of prison world, 85% of prisons upkeep are done by inmate labor and utilizing them to keep the facility operating.
So prisoners assist in cooking and cleaning and repairing and mowing grass, you said?
Yes, sir. They prepare meals, they launder the clothes, they paint the buildings, landscaping, and any kind of repair of plumbing or framing or any kind of construction repairs that need to be done within the fence.
What if the inmate says, no, I'm not going to do this work? What happens?
What happens when any prisoner or inmate refuses to work, they will get a disciplinary report, which basically is a rule infraction. Refusing to work, and what the process is, if you refuse to work, you get placed in administrative confinement, as we often know in the business as a whole, the confinement unit. You will go through an administrative process in which the individual inmate being charged with the rule infraction will have an opportunity for being given support. They call witnesses. At a period of time, they will come up members of the institutional classification team. At that time, they will plead their case, and that team will make the decision with what the outcome is. And in most cases, you're found guilty, and you're given a sanction of time in disciplinary confinement. And in many cases, additionally, they will take gain time. And what happens is the individual will remain in disciplinary confinement with no privileges, no access to anything but his legal paperwork, and based on their behavior while in disciplinary confinement, they will be reviewed weekly, and eventually, if they meet all the expectations, will be released back to open population.
Let us talk about inmates who are not sentenced to life without possibility of parole, but who...
I'm sorry, but this is turning my stomach. That child never got to live its life. Is this guy saying, oh, he'll have it hard if you don't give him the death penalty? He won't get to take a shower every day. Is that absolutely what he's saying? He'll have it hard because he won't get to take a shower every day and he's going to have to work? That baby didn't get to live its life.
who are sentenced to death and are awaiting their executions on death row. Can you describe a death row cell to us, please?
Yes, and those, if I could digress a little, those who are sentenced to death go through a different process. They will be normally taken to RNC, get processed within a couple of hours, and they're taken to either Union Correctional Institution. An inmate who is sitting on death row, the environment is slightly different. These are individuals that are housed alone in a 6x9 cell with their assigned toilet and stainless steel sink. They are permitted to have their own TV in their cell. They are not required to work, and they are not required to leave their cell. The meals are brought to them. Their laundry is brought to them. They have changed things on death row in the last 2 years, in which now inmates on death row have more time outside of their cells. They have visits with families. They have a tablet assigned to them where they can communicate with their family. They have day room time in which they can interact with other inmates on death row, as well as have additional recreation time outside of their cell as well.
When a death row inmate is permitted time out of his cell, does he share that time with other inmates? Is he by himself? Tell us about that.
No, he shares it with several inmates, 5 to 6, 7 inmates, when they're in the day room time, so they're in contact with other inmates on the same status on death row. Recreation, they also have access to other inmates playing basketball and having more out-of-cell time with other inmates in the same custody level.
Why are the inmates sentenced to death? Why don't they work?
The requirement is that those individuals, because of their custody level, there's very limited work assignments, and because of security grades, the expectation of the high risk those are individuals that are classified at maximum custody, and these are the individuals, because of their sentence, have to be watched at all times and placed in a secure environment. Giving them work assignments, it's not conducive to that environment. Often they can help out if they want, but they're not required because of their custody level and the security aspects that go with it in supervising them.
Regarding death row, is there just one death row in one Florida prison and all those awaiting execution are there?
Yes, for the men, it's Union Correctional Institution, and for the women, it's at the Lowell Correctional Institution.
How many are presently on death row, do you know?
Currently, approximately 458 are on death row as of today.
It seems to me there have been a great number of executions so far just this year. Do you know how many?
I think approximately 12 this year. The 13th is scheduled for sometime this month, and the next one is tentatively scheduled in late October this year.
So there have been more executions than months in the year so far.
Objection as to relevance.
Yes.
I was not the one who contacted you initially on this case. Who contacted you regarding involving you in this Soto-Escalera case?
That was back on June 3rd. Sherry Schwartz, Dr. Schwartz, who's a mitigation specialist, reached out to me.
So she knew of your reputation and work in this field then?
Correct. I worked with her on some of the cases.
What were you requested to do?
I was requested to review all his corrections records, whether at the county jail or if he had any kind of prior prison involvement, review his assessment, have an in-person structured interview, assess the records that were provided to me, and give my professional opinion on how his adjustment has been while he's been in a corrections environment, and in this particular case for the last 7+ years.
Do you review records? What do you do?
Yes, I review records. I reviewed in this particular case over 220 records, pages of records that were provided to me for the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office jail operations based on his state since he's been booked there.
Did you get a chance to meet with or speak to Jose at any point?
Yes, I met with him on August 1st of 2025 for about an hour and a half at the St. Lucie County Jail, in which I had an in-person structured interview to meet with him.
Has Jose been in the St. Lucie County Jail since September 2018 consistently?
Yes.
Did you review any disciplinary reports regarding Jose Soto-Escalera from the St. Lucie County Jail during his 7 years of incarceration?
Yes, I did.
How many DRs or disciplinary referrals did you see in the records?
He technically had 3, but the way some jails do it, they lump them together. He had a disciplinary report back in 11/14 of 2019, and it was for unauthorized area while count, in which basically he was found guilty of that. Basically during the count time in which they account for inmates, he was not where he should have been. They accounted for him, but he was not in the assigned area, in which they keep 30 days probation, which basically means don't mess up again or we'll take your privileges. And then in April 24th, 25, he had taken his table and some chairs to his cell when they were getting ready to lock down so he could play cards. So they actually wrote him up for having a plan and causing a disturbance to operations, in which he shouldn't have done it, but unfortunately he got caught and he was given a disciplinary infraction, in which he pled guilty to.
Any disciplinary referrals regarding fighting, violence toward other inmates or towards guards?
No, none of the records provided to me show any incidents or anything relating to any kind of violence, either with other inmates or with any of the staff or the corrections officers.
Do you yourself speak Spanish, sir?
Yes, I do.
Did you talk to Jose in English or Spanish or both?
I spoke to him in English. He speaks Spanish. He might have said a few words in Spanish, but everything was English-based, the interview.
Based on your training and years of experience and having reviewed the records, is 7 years of incarceration consistently sufficient for you to review Jose's situation and render an opinion about his future behavior while in custody?
Yes, sir. 7 years is a good amount of time in which someone who comes into a jail environment, corrections environment, to assess them based on how well they adjusted to the environment, both from a medical, physical perspective as well as behaviors. Yes, sir.
And what did you conclude specifically then about Jose Soto-Escalera's suitability or unsuitability to be a prisoner?
Well, I assessed, based on my years of experience and training, here you had an individual who was booked for a crime which was well publicized. The individual has been at the county jail, which, understanding the county jail environment and the prison environment sort of has its differences, where county jails have inmates that come and go every day, from misdemeanors to major felony cases, where the population in the county jail is very fluid. Didn't see anything in his records that show that he had to remain in protective custody. Didn't see anything in his records that gave the impression or alluded to him not adjusting well. He followed all the rules. 7 years, he did receive 2 DRs. They were not major DRs. In fact, one was just getting probation. So at the end of the day, someone who's sitting in a county jail for 7 years with a fluid inmate population, where in that environment, inmates tend to try each other. They're either the victims or victors. At the end of the day, he steered away from that. The records indicate he followed the rules. He stayed out of everyone's way. He didn't cause anyone any kind of challenges. And he's adjusted well in the prison, in the jail environment, which would indicate someone like him, when sent to prison, will adjust well, stature-wise, behavior-wise. He will follow the rules and regulations in that environment without any concerns, based on the records I reviewed. When
you met with Jose, did you have a chance to discuss his work history at all?
Yes, I did. Had the opportunity, part of the structured interview, talk of education, in which he told me he did not obtain his high school diploma, but he did obtain many other trades. He has experience in the carpentry field, profession, construction, laborer, framer. Some of the skills that he's mastered in the construction environment was something he was very well versed and knowledgeable and had work experience in.
Do any of those skills and abilities equip him to be a useful worker as a prisoner?
Someone like him, based on my many years of experience, particularly classification, when they come to the reception center and end up at a permanent camp, what they do is they interview him based on his skills, because unfortunately prisons are, getting old and aged. So basically we assign work assignments. So every prison has assignments for carpenters, electricians, painters, general maintenance. And someone like him, who after a period of 60 to 90 days, who has done the entry-level jobs such as inside grounds and the heat, and they've proven to be a good worker based on the review you'll get it every week and every month by the officers, will be basically assigned an assignment such as maintenance, so he can use his skills to help the upkeep of the prison. And basically it's an opportunity for the prison system to have labor, free labor, at the expense of the inmate being held accountable to perform those duties based on the need of the institution.
Did Jose's charges and current placement at the jail for these 7 years render him ineligible from participating in jail educational programs?
Based on the records I've seen, and because when you have cases like this, based on the category classification level, which he's at the highest level, they do not, most jails like St. Lucie do not offer them the opportunity to have those education programs. And most likely, when he goes into the prison system, that will be the same approach. The investment, if sentenced to life, will not be for someone like that. They will utilize him for labor, and what he can help is sweat equity in keeping the prisons upkeep.
So I'm not sure of the answer. Could you, Captain, clarify that if it's a yes or no? I'm not sure what the answer was.
Did you hear the judge?
Repeat the quote. Judge, Your Honor?
Yes, could you clarify as far as how it's been in the jail and what it would be like in general population? It seemed to me that you were equating the two, and then there was a difference between the two. I wasn't sure what you were saying, what it would be like in prison and how it's been in the jail. I want to just clarify your answer.
Okay, Your Honor, so to clarify that, so in a jail environment, there's a lot of moving population types. So when I was referencing that, was based on his adjustment in the jail environment. Most inmates who are in a jail environment for a long period of time sometimes fights and have aggressive behavior based on the type of inmates that come in and out of that jail environment. Based on his 7 years, he's adjusted well, which based on my experience, someone like him who ends up in the prison system should adjust well. The only difference in the prison environment, Your Honor, is those individuals are actually assigned to that prison for several years, and we assign them based on their labor, skills, and what they can do to keep the facility operating. Does that answer your question, Your Honor?
Thank you.
As long as Mr. Burns is comfortable with the answer, that's fine.
Yes, that's all right. Thank you, Judge. Now, I think you may have answered this question already. If this jury recommends that Jose be executed, and that's what the judge orders, I think you said he would be welcomed into the system at the North Florida Reception Center, and then he would go immediately to death row in Union Correctional. Is that correct?
Correct. It's normally done within several hours. They basically process them and move them into death row status.
And if Jose was sentenced to life without parole, where would he go? Do you know?
Because in St. Lucie County, he would go to Central Florida Reception Center. There's actually 4 male reception centers. He would be transferred to the reception center, in which he will remain there anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks as he goes through the assessment process. And based on his medical grade, dental grade, psych grade, his assessment from classification, as well as his security level, he will be assigned to a permanent prison throughout the state of Florida, and most likely will be in North Florida, where we have most of the prisons that house life inmates.
Now, in reviewing your notes here, I see that in Florida Department of Corrections, there must be facilities that are characterized as faith and character facilities. Is that correct?
Yes, they're known as faith and character-based facility, and often some of them are also in conjunction with incentivized prisons as well.
And would Jose be a good fit for a faith and character facility?
The criteria for that is something he would have to earn. You have to have anywhere from 24 to 36 months in the prison system without any rule infractions, any kind of violence, in which at that point, wherever he's assigned, he can put in for that. But that goes through an assessment process, through classification, and gets approved all the way in central office. So it's something that he would have to earn and not automatically considered for.
So you have reviewed Jose's records, you have met with him, you have the experience and education that you have told us about. Do you believe that Jose could contribute and be a contributor, even if it be only to the state prison system, if he were sentenced to life without parole?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, I do.
The jury has been told by authoritative sources before, but I'll ask you also, does life without parole mean life without parole in Florida?
Yes.
Yes, everyone, because parole doesn't exist since the 80s. Every inmate who is sentenced to the Department of Corrections with life without parole will never leave the prison fence line unless they're required to go out for a medical run, in which the proper security components. Other than that, they would expire their life in prison and be removed in a body bag, sir.
Thank you, that's all I have for you.
Cross-examination?
No questions from the state.
May Mr. Bonasco be released at this time?
You may, Judge. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to end the Zoom, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. There are no other, are there other Zoomers or?
No, I have one person live.
Okay,
We
so
have her
I
son
will end the
calling.
Zoom then. Okay. End the Zoom. And did you need a break at this time or?
No, we can proceed unless
Okay.
the jury needs a break.
Jury need a restroom break? No, we're good? Okay, you may call your next witness.
It is Lucinda Cook. May we have her?
Sure.
Someone
Lucinda
from
Cook.
Cook.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
And you may inquire of the witness, Mr. Burns, when ready.
Thank you. Sit real close to that microphone in front of you, ma'am. Tell us who you are.
I'm Lucinda Cook.
Speak up nice and loud. Who are you?
I'm Lucinda Cook.
Okay, Lucinda Cook.
No relation.
Jose there?
I do.
How do you know him?
I dated him many years ago.
Can you give us a time frame?
2006, for about 4 or 5 years.
2006 to 2010, 2011, somewhere in there?
12, yeah.
And how well would you say you know Jose?
I made I was with back then very well.
Murdering a lady and her unborn baby, correct?
Yes.
And you're not here to quarrel with the jury about that.
No.
Then why are you there?
But is it fair to say that you do not recognize that murder in the Jose that you knew?
Absolutely not.
What were your circumstances when you Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, a 10-year abusive relationship.
Did you have children?
I have 3.
How old were your children when you met Jose?
4, 2, and a newborn.
How did you meet Jose?
A barbecue, a friend's barbecue.
And was it a slow developing relationship or swiftly developing?
I mean, both. I mean, we dated for a year before we lived together.
Did you live together for that 4 or 5 years? Yes, and you say yes
yes,
or no?
I did.
Okay, thank
Sorry.
you. Just so the record has it,
Yes.
everybody knows what you mean, but
This
the record needs to be clear. And you were about how old then when you met Jose in 2006?
24, 23.
When you were with Jose, how was he with your young children?
He loves children. He was very good with them.
And how did your children react to
They liked him as well.
How did you feel being in a relationship with Jose?
I was just getting out of an abusive relationship, so I wasn't very nice to him. But he did everything he knew to do to display a great characteristic of a man that my son should look up to.
Did Jose make you feel safe coming out of that relationship?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I could not hear the answer.
Absolutely.
Your children also?
Yes.
You indicated that, I think maybe as a result of where your head was at coming out of that relationship, you said you were not always very nice to Jose.
I was not nice to the man at all. Sorry.
You were mean to him, I think you characterized it. Is that correct?
Yes.
How so?
Everything was worth an argument. Everything he did was wrong. I pushed his motorcycle down the driveway. I spit in his face. Told him to leave.
When you
know.
had disagreements and arguments with Jose, did he get violent with you?
Never, ever.
I
I
think
didn't
you-
even get an argument out of him.
I think you just told us in one of your disagreements you spat upon him. How did he react to that?
Just wiped it off.
You mentioned a motorcycle. Jose had a super duper tricked out motorcycle, yes?
Yes, sir.
Paint job, lots of chrome. He loved it. What did you do to it?
Pushed it down the driveway
Because you were angry at him?
because he wasn't moving fast enough. I was
Oh.
really mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think you, was that toward the end of the relationship, you had enough, you said you'd go, but you punctuated that request by damaging his motorcycle?
I was just mean, and he wasn't moving fast enough. I don't know.
What did
It's
he
a lot
do?
of years ago.
What did he do when you did he see you damage the motorcycle?
Yeah, he was right there.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. He just picked up the motorcycle and drove away.
So despite provocations, you have not ever seen Jose to be violent, is that so?
I've never seen the man be violent, and his occupation was a bouncer. I never even seen him fight a man.
And even when he was working security at clubs, he wouldn't fight.
Never. He was like a clown.
What is so funny?
But there were other women in Jose's life, correct? And that's kind of why you ended it with him. Yes.
I just had a drama-free life, and the extra drama from having multiple kids' mothers. I just didn't want my kids to witness it. Or
Yes.
I didn't want
One or more of Jose's other women would occasionally come around and interrupt your life. Is that correct?
because of their own problems, not necessarily my problems.
Would you describe Jose as easily excited and angered, or a calm person?
I'm not sure that I've ever seen him super angry, not to a violent state. I mean, mad at something, work or something, but not angry enough to do something.
You know, earlier today I told the judge, and then later I told this jury that a lot of witnesses I was counting on didn't show up, but you are here. Why have you come?
Joselito did everything during our 4-year relationship that he should have to display great characteristic of a man for my children. He would, an example of a man that I should have probably treated a little better. And I was just, I can't sleep at night knowing that he's gonna lose his life. And I was so mean to him for no reason at all.
Well, we don't know that yet. Do you want him to lose his life?
No.
Thank you, that's all I have from you, man. Thank you so much.
Cross-examination?
So, okay, so let me just figure out the timeline here. It sounds like you started dating the defendant in 2006, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then you broke up with him in 2013,
Late
2012?
11, 12, yeah.
2012? Okay, and if I understand correctly, you used to work down here at the gas station located at Midway and Selvets, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you used to see the defendant every once in a while when he'd come into the gas station, right?
Yes, sir.
And if I recall correctly, you did not speak to him when he came in?
I never spoke to him again until recently, after I left him.
Right, so when the defendant would come into the gas station, you ignored him
I treated him like a stranger.
and treated him like a stranger, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, and then from 2012 up until just a few weeks ago, you didn't speak to him at all,
Absolutely not.
right? So 13 years went by and you didn't speak a word to him,
Absolutely.
is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then when you did speak to him again just a few weeks ago, was that after the trial started?
I'm not sure. I didn't follow it or his situation. I've been getting phone calls from his children trying to get me to talk to him, but I didn't know why. I didn't know, I didn't follow. I don't watch TV, so I didn't know what was really going on. And I prayed on it for a while before I made my decision to help him.
Okay, but you said you spoke to him for the first time after 13 years a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
So my question is how many weeks? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? How many, what would you say?
Let's go with a month. I don't know. I wasn't really recording dates. I didn't think I was.
A month. Okay, gotcha. And a lot can change with somebody after 13 years, is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, no further questions.
Thank you.
You redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. May Ms. Cook be released from subpoena if she is under subpoena at this time?
Yes, sir, she's on the speech.
Any objection?
No
Thank
objection.
you, Ms. Cook. You're released from your subpoena at this time. You're free to stay or leave as you wish. And counsel, if you want to approach.
Thank you.
What? Why are you crying? What do you need? What's up there? What are you looking at? There ain't nothing up there. What, baby? What can I do for my son? Hmm? What can I do for my boy? My mijo. What does my mijo want? What does my mijo want, huh?
Members of the jury, as I told you this morning, we're going to have a short afternoon. Those are all the witnesses for this afternoon. We are going to restart tomorrow. There's some work we need to do outside of your presence, so we're going to ask you to come in at 9:30, not 8:45. It gives you a little extra time. But we are still on course to get the case to you tomorrow afternoon. Please remember, of course, you know what I'm going to say. We're very near the end of this case. We're going to be recessing for the evening. Don't discuss the case with anyone. Don't do any research. Avoid all of the media coverage of the case. We're almost there at the end of the case. And enjoy your evening. Leave your notes on your chairs, and we'll see you in the morning, 9:30.
You want a cucumber? Aunt Judy says you want a cucumber. Is that what you want? Oh, he's leaving. Where are you going?
Any other issues for us to address before we break until the morning?
No, sir.
All right, we'll see you in the morning. The interpreter is going to be here at 8:30 to assist you all. I'll be here at 8:45, and then the jury's coming at 9:30, so we're on track. And we'll see you in the morning. Enjoy your evening.
Okay, I don't have another stream set up. Let me see if the other one is back in yet, because we don't have a time. Nope, they are still on break. They're still on break. So, I'll let y'all go, and I will make a new stream, and it will start when they start. So y'all have your notifications on. So I guess we do get a break today. I don't know how long it's gonna be though. Probably not very long, because it's 2, so it's 1 there, and they went to lunch at 12 their time, so they should be coming back any minute now. Sound good? Okay, sounds good. Okay, bye guys. I will see you when court returns. 1:30 was time back? Well, they're not back yet. Okay, well, I'm gonna make the stream, so y'all look for it, because I didn't make it ahead of time this time. But I'll do it real quick and jump back on. So, look for it. It'll just take me a few minutes. Bye, guys.